Hi, it's Jesse. Today on the show, you know him as Manuel Alberto Javier Alejandro Ramirez Delgado, aka my stepbrother Manny on Modern Family. It's Rico Rodriguez.
Oh, you're working with Ed O'Neill. I'm like, who's that? And they're like, oh, you know, from Married with Children. I'm like, okay, I've never heard of that show. And then they're like, loving me. And they're singing to me. I'm like, I have no idea what this is.
What are you talking
about? But then
yeah.
I see Sofia. I'm like, oh, the good lady from Medea. From Medea Goes to Jail. I love her.
This is Dinner's on Me, and I'm your host, Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I brought Rico to Heavy Handed in Studio City, California. Heavy Handed is the smashburger sensation that started as a beloved food truck and now has a brick and mortar location in the Valley, also Santa Monica and in Silver Lake. The menu is tight, focused, and irresistible. Think double patty smashburgers with crispy, lacy edges and gooey melted cheese stacked on pillowy buns. This was my first time at Heavy Handed, but it's officially in the rotation now. Okay, let's get to the conversation. Wait, did you drive here?
Did. Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah.
This is a big news for me.
For those who don't know, for the longest time, I never wanted to drive. It's not that I didn't want to. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So because it was a funny thing. So for an episode, I had to operate the car.
Yeah.
So usually they'll put it on a rig so that you don't have to.
Yeah,
you can just drive it.
They put the car on a flatbed truck, and then someone drives it, and you just look like you're driving.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's what we do. But in this case, they had to do an exterior shot of the car, of me driving it.
Yes.
And it was very brief. It was like a thing where I was backing up.
It's a great shot. Isn't it you in slow motion, like giving like a nod?
That one was one of my favorite scenes. But a little bit later on in the series, it was one where I had to back in and it was one of those episodes. Remember we did one where each act was one whole storyline for each of the families?
It's called 5 Minutes, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one, I was operating the car and I hit the curb, and then Jay was like, "Let me get in the car," and then we'd each take turns driving into some place. Well, because I was operating the car, I didn't have my license, I didn't have a permit or anything.
Yeah.
So they're like, maybe you ought to get one. So you have a test on Friday.
Production sets you up with
you
the driving test.
You better pass it so we can film Monday. I'm like, okay, here we go. So then I literally had less than 24 hours to read the whole manual to get everything. I passed, got my permit so I can drive it. And I was like, all right, here we go. This is the jump start to getting my license. And then I just let that thing expire for a while. And then I guess I told my family that I wanted to get my license before I turned 21.
Uh-huh.
And then a week before I turned 21, they go, "Oh, so you're going to get it?" I'm like, "I said that?"
Uh-huh.
And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, snap. Okay, well then." So then I was like, well, let me go get it. So I went to go do my written test, and they were like, "Okay, great. You want to go do your driving test?" I'm like, I really haven't practiced much, but why not? I go and I passed first try.
Yeah.
And
you probably were super careful, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. I was, because I had driven the car before, so I was comfortable with it. But so then after I passed, they're like, "Let's go eat." And so I was driving. And I was like, you know what, guys? I need to take a break from driving. This is too much already. I'm all stiff.
Your brain is hurting.
I'm stiff. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. But
That's so funny. Yeah, because, you started Modern Family when you were 10, so you were very far away from driving. But I remember Eric, I think in season 1, didn't he make some sort of promise with you with the car?
Yeah, so he drove this really nice white truck that I was like, being a Texas boy, I'm like, oh, a truck. I like that. And so he was like, "Oh, you want that?" He goes, "Okay, if this show runs, 10 seasons, you can keep it. I'll give it to you," or some. It was some gaudy number.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, it came about. I was like, "So Eric, we made it." And he's like, "Oh, I don't have the truck anymore."
I know that truck was long gone.
I was like, "Oh,
You've
it's
been
okay."
to 3 cars since then.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Hey.
Welcome to Heavy Handed.
Hi.
First time, I believe.
Have you been here?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that. This is the
Let me
first
go
time.
over the menu with you.
Nice.
Basically, Heavy Handed is known for their smash burgers, short rib. So they're not smash all the way, really thick. We still keep them a little thin to keep the juice in there. I always recommend the double. It's the way to go. It's enough meat for the bun and everything in there. If you like a little spicy, you could add chopped chilies.
Ooh.
We also have heavy fries, which
Is that just fries with the sauce?
yes. So it comes with everything that comes in the burger on top of the fries as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
What would you like?
I'll do a double.
A double combo?
I think, okay, so the combo has fries? Yes. Okay, yes.
You want to upgrade it to heavy fries or just keep it regular
I'm going to
fries?
do regular fries, but I'm going to do chilies.
On the burger.
On the burger.
You got it.
Yeah.
And for you?
I'll also do the double with no pickles and no onions, please.
No
and then
pickles.
regular fries on the side.
Regular fries
We're
as well?
scared of the heavy fries.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the word heavy, I mean, you know, if it was light fries, I'm like, okay, I consider it.
I understand. Okay.
And what do you want? Do you want something to drink?
Yeah.
I'm going to... Go ahead.
Can I do a Sprite, please?
A Sprite? You got it.
I'll do a Diet Coke.
Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right,
Awesome.
I'll be
Thank
right
you
back.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can't wait to try. I love me a good burger. I love
too.
me a good burger.
Okay, I know you've told this story before to me, but like you were a very shy kid. I was a very shy kid.
Yeah.
You sort of kind of fell into this industry because your older sister Rainey, who I adore,
She's great.
please
She's
tell her I
great.
said hi.
I will.
Was already in the business, and
Yes.
you were, from what I understand, tagging along for an audition.
Yeah. So my sister Rainey, she trailblazed. She brought us to California. I mean, at 11, you know.
Yeah.
So we're all young.
From Texas,
From
yeah.
Texas, from our hometown of Bryan College Station. Shout out. And so my first headshots were like by accident. My sister was taking them, and I was in like a Power Rangers shirt, 2 front teeth missing, so on like not Hollywood at all. And I took those as my first headshots, and I used those for when I first started. And
You still use them.
Oh, yes, of course. These are fake ones. And so fast forward a little bit, you know, seeing her kind of do her thing, you know, she's always wanted to be on Disney Channel. And so she was able to guest star on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And that was kind of like, whoa, she's living out her dream. So I saw that, and then little did we know, it was like something that like, yeah, I want to do this. And acting became something that was the most passionate thing I was passionate about.
What was it like seeing your sister on TV?
Oh, it was awesome. Well, seeing her on set, because I mean, being kids, you know, me and my mom and my sister, we all run in packs. It's just us three.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was in Texas, you know,
With your brothers, yeah.
you know, making money so we can live out here, you know.
Right.
And so
your
it was
dad,
just-
your dad had a tire shop
Yes,
in Texas.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it. And your
And-
brothers were with him.
well, so my mom was with us, and then my dad and my 2 older brothers were
Yeah.
together over there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and just seeing her do her thing, and just then seeing it come out, and then her doing more commercials, and just like seeing the kind of the passion she had,
Yeah.
it just kind of was like, I want to do that. Like that inspires me to do, because she's having so much fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, I look up to my sister, even though she's shorter than me. I look up to my
She
sister.
is.
I look up to my sister a lot. So it was really cool.
It's you know, I have 2 kids now, and
Yes.
like seeing how my youngest one looks up to his older brother.
Yeah.
I mean, like he just wants to do whatever he does.
I love that.
and he's fearless about it too. It's
Yeah.
like Beckett's a trailblazer, and Sully's just like, yeah, let's go,
Let's do
that
it,
thing.
yeah.
So I could totally understand how you would fall in love with it, just because you know your sister, who you definitely look up to. I know how close you 2 are.
Yes.
You know, it's seeing her enjoy that so much probably was a huge motivator
Oh,
for you.
for sure.
Do you remember your audition for Modern Family?
I do. I kind of had very quick success in the industry, like kind of in the form of my first 3 auditions. I booked all 3 like right away.
Oh, wow.
It was, I mean, it's so not heard of.
You did not know rejection.
No. And so like by the time Modern Family rolled around, I have been lucky to have been on like every major network in like a guest starring role in some show.
Yeah.
So the last one was ABC. And so before that, I had auditioned for like a couple other series roles where I got really close for, and to the point where it was like testing, like, and so that, you know, I didn't get him for whatever reason, but you know, my parents always instilled like a keep going mentality, like, hey, you know what, it's okay, it happens, we move on, we keep going to the next one. And then Modern Family rolled around, which at the time was My American Family.
That's right. Yeah, the
and
original
so
title.
I got the audition. It was so fun, and I went in and I read in front of Alan and Jeff and
Other casting directors, yeah.
and so it was kind of crazy because I had went in with a completely different take on Manny. It was like a player, and like he was too cool for school,
Oh.
and it was like literally the complete opposite to what we know him today. And Jeff liked it, and he was like, that was great. He goes, but he goes, we see Manny as like a old soul, like Antonio Banderas in a kid's body. And I go, oh. I'm like, oh,
Did you know
okay.
that reference?
I didn't know. I was like, oh, okay, so he wants me to be Puss in Boots. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. And so luckily I got a call back for it. Anyway, even though I came in with the complete opposite take.
Right.
I came in for the second audition, and they were like, Jeff was like, oh, thank you for taking the notes and whatever. It was so good, you know, that's exactly what we're looking for, yada, yada. Then I didn't hear anything for like a month. And I was like, well, okay, that was another one I didn't get.
Yeah.
And whatever. And so then little did I know they were casting, you know, making sure they were putting Sofia in. They were casting
Right.
Ed, they were casting all the rest of them. And what's kind of funny is I had knew Nolan before the series started. We were both going to the same acting class.
Oh, no way.
So
I didn't know you guys knew each other.
yeah, so it was like we knew each other for like a few months before.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of going through this journey together in a way of like every time we meet up for class, we're like, oh, I saw you at the audition. Oh, how did you do? Oh,
Yeah.
it went good. And then the next week, oh, how did it go? And it kept going until like we booked it, and then we were on set together.
Did you guys book it around the same time, do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah.
And so did you have conversations about...
Oh, yeah. And
That's
it
wild.
was so cool because, I mean, and even Ariel, I even knew Ariel before because I had worked with her on a movie she did. I had a very small role. She was the lead of it. I had a very small role, but I interacted with her.
Yeah.
And she couldn't have been the coolest person. So it was really neat seeing them and seeing Nolan at the audition code. Kind of felt like already a familial thing. And we all kind of like, okay, maybe we're all destined to do this kind of thing together.
Totally, yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of how it all like shook out. And
I mean, that's got to be weird too. Obviously, I didn't test for TV shows when I was a kid, but like even as an adult, like it's really intimidating.
It's daunting.
Like, do you remember being scared by that, or was it intimidation? Or I mean, it doesn't sound like you were. I don't even know.
Well,
do kids that age even like know to be scared about something like that?
No, I think
Scary might be the wrong word.
A lot of the things when you're a kid is like you're kind of fearless. You don't know. You don't kind of know what that kind of looks like. So being able to be kind of fearless in that way was really fun to be able to do. Oh, here we go.
And I guess you don't need to thank you so much. He's
Thank
like, great. Did we take pictures at the...
Okay. I'm gonna take a picture because the phone eats first. Thank you.
What I was gonna say was, do you even like have a comprehension of like, I mean, as an adult, you're signing contracts, you're seeing
Of course,
money, you're seeing like, oh, I'm gonna be able to provide for myself. As a kid, is it kind of more like, oh, this is just a fun thing I'm gonna get to do?
At the end of the day, when I was auditioning, it's all fun. Everything that even to today, it's everything that I do. It's fun.
Yeah.
I was such an excitable kid, and now I'm an excitable adult.
Yeah.
To where every little thing, it's like it's fun. I love this industry, and what was interesting is so you know how you were saying like something like being nervous or daunting. I had auditioned for Jeff Greenberg prior for a role in Ugly Betty, and he made me cry.
Oh, really?
In the audition room.
Did you ever tell him this?
I think I did. I want to say
probably saw it.
Yeah, right. Well, and it was for something like it was some choir kid, and I had to like sing or whatever. He wasn't mean. He was just like, I don't know, like a stern or just like it was just like just them. He was just there. He wasn't giving me no expressions or anything. And so then when I auditioned for Modern Family, I saw him. I'm like, oh no.
PTSD.
I was like, oh no. And then come to find out later on, I mean, he's the nicest person in all of Hollywood. He is and it, changed my life. And So
also, I mean, I have to remind myself that, they're seeing so many people for these roles, and they're just trying to find the right person for it. So, like, if someone's not right, it's sort of like in your mind, you probably think, okay, well, like they're great and they're talented, but like they're not for this role, and you probably shut down a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes, they always say like the best auditions are the ones you don't really remember. Like when you leave and you kind of just don't really remember what you did. And that's kind of what happened, in the audition sides. It was for when I was in the car with Jay and Gloria, and I was talking about like, I want to talk to Brenda Feldman. I was going to give her a flower, go pick flowers and all that. And in the end of the scene, I run out of the car. So in the audition room, I just bolt to the door, and everyone was like, what's this kid running for? Like, and that was, and they're like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And I just walked out.
Yeah.
And then we were driving home, and that's when I got the call that they booked me like, 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, when they know, they know. It's interesting.
This is really good,
It's
by
not
the way.
a great smash burger.
That's really good.
I know. This is like going to be on my regular spot list.
Yes,
now.
for sure.
When we all got together for the first time, we sort of did a pre-table read before table read for the network, and then I think we even had a rehearsal before that.
I just remember walking into the big room, and everybody's just there watching this new show, and I go and sit next to you because that's what we were.
Oh yeah, we always sit next to
always
one
sit next to
another,
each other on the table read.
Yeah.
It's like that thing where you kind of like feel that it's gonna be something, and even at that young age, I could feel this was something.
Yeah.
Like it felt right. It felt like we were supposed to be there at that time doing this thing together, and that's what it came out to be.
I completely agree with you. I always think about, Nolan's been a guest on this podcast.
Yes, I'm a listener, by the way. You do great work.
Oh, thanks, Rico.
Very, very fun
Thank
podcast.
You. Obviously, Sarah was older than you all, but I know Aubrey's talked about this too. But just, navigating being a kid and growing up on TV, I'm sure it was probably so such a luxury and such a security blanket, knowing that you had other kids your age.
Oh, for sure.
There doing the same thing in the same boat. And I'm so glad you did. I think it probably you like were able to bounce off each other and also be like, is this crazy for you? Because it's crazy for me.
Exactly.
But like, even going to school together because, you had to go to school on set. Nolan talked a little bit about like feeling like even though he had you all, there was a bit of a separation. Like he felt like he wasn't necessarily able to really always relate to kids who were his age because he didn't get to like go to school in a traditional sense.
I think I never really found because that's what a lot of people are like. Oh, well, kids in Hollywood, they getting to not experience something like high school or proms or stuff like that or social events and I never really felt that way because I think, like I said, at such a young age, my parents kind of instilled this kind of like a work ethic in me to where it was like, I knew what I was here for. I was here for a job and work because I had no problem going home and being a kid, being rambunctious, going roll in the dirt if I wanted to. Like they had no problem doing that. They knew, but when I was on set, hey, make sure you know your lines, be prepared, be nice to everybody because everybody there is wants to make it a great experience. Yeah. And then after you're wrapped and you're on the way home, you can be a kid. You go take out the trash, you go clean the house, clean your room. All that doesn't stop.
Yeah, right. What was it like? I always thought about this with Aubrey too, because like she would go away and have to do schoolwork and then come back, and I was like, what is it like? I'd actually never asked you this to be in a scene, doing a show for Modern Family with, Sofia and Ed, and then like have to go and do science or whatever, and then come back. Like it must be so weird.
It is interesting because some episodes Manny would pop in, and then say a funny quip as he would, and then he would walk out and then come back later. But then sometimes they would have Manny-centric episodes for our storylines that would, and then
the T-shirt being one of them,
fencing, or like even because since he was such an old soul, he would have these like big paragraphs and words that I had no idea what I was saying. I would look up online, or I would ask my studio teacher Sharon, Miss Sharon. I would ask her, hey, what does this mean? Why are they laughing? Are they laughing because a kid's saying this, or because like the line's funny? Like what's the context behind this? And so she would explain to me. I go, oh, okay, I understand now. But it was crazy because sometimes you would have these big chunky dialogues and then you would rehearse it and then, kind of nervous because it's like one of the first times you'd be able to kind of showcase something that you can do. And then you got to go and you have a math test. I'm like, well, I don't know division. Like, what am I going to do? And then, I would go answer the first 3 questions of 20 and then go back to film.
That's wild to me.
It's crazy. It's like, it's the craziest thing to do.
I can only imagine how hard that could be.
It definitely posed its like challenges, but I think luckily the people on, let me just say something.
Yeah.
Modern Family was the best, and the people that worked on the show were even better. Like the show was great. I mean, it's one of the greats, but our cast and crew and just the work environment was just so amazing. Yeah. That's like we would get other cast from other sets on the lot and be like, wow, that looks awesome. Yeah. Like we're over here 16 hours and we're finishing before lunch. Like that's unheard of. Yeah. But to be able to balance that kind of like work and child and school, it was easy because the crew and the cast, they made it fun. They made, a lot of the crew members would keep you a kid. They would do fun things, or we would get, I mean, I'm sure we did the Nerf war on set. Yes. And Brian Cranston, our director of the week, was, joining us. But like, they didn't stop us from wanting to do fun things like that. Like,
I mean, you and Nolan, I would want to take a nap between scenes, and you and Nolan were off like writing screenplays.
Oh yeah,
playing,
parkour.
Yeah, exactly. Doing parkour. Yeah. I mean, you had so much energy. I remember Ty and I thinking like, if I could just have an ounce of that energy right now.
Yeah, it was so fun because we made it fun. We made it because also it was us 3, like the kids. So we always kind of like, Ariel was one to be like, relax, guys. And we were like, no, we got to keep going.
Yeah, you were boys.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, you also got to do things that so few people just who get TV jobs in general get to do, like travel to Hawaii, travel to Paris, travel to Washington. Where did we go?
Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole. In Disneyland, we got to be like backstage at Disneyland, like
crazy.
I mean, what are some of your favorite memories from those episodes?
I think it's kind of one of those like, oh, we're doing something. It's when we went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because like I've never
Which was in season 1, by the way.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
Usually work up to that.
Yeah, and we just did it. Oh, we'll go to Hawaii. Why not? I think.
Which, by the way, is one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, like, it's so good.
It's not just a travel episode. It's actually a really good episode.
such a fun story. Our writers are awesome to create such really fun storylines around a place.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the traveling type. So like if I wasn't working and busy in California, when I had a good little chunk off, I would go back to Texas and go visit my family. So luckily I got to travel to really amazing places because of my work.
Yeah.
And you got paid to be there, and you get to go, and everybody together would go look at the sites. And so like Australia was crazy.
I know.
I mean, Hawaii. I had such a good time at Jackson Hole because it was like we were all in like cabins, and like it was so cool. It was the coolest thing. I mean, I was so lucky to be on a really awesome show, but like that the show can take it to new heights and go these places that I never imagined I'd ever go. Paris.
I know. It felt like field trips, you know?
Oh, so much fun. It was always the age-old question, like, oh, where are we going this year, guys? And then everyone would have like little rumors, oh, I think we're going here this year. And
I know Italy was someplace I kept talking about, but it never happened.
Yeah.
I know.
And usually I would be like one of the last to know, because like I'll be in the schoolroom the whole time, and they're like, oh, are you ready for your trip? I'm like, trip to where? What have you heard? I'm 11.
Yeah, that's right. I think, you know, one of the reasons, obviously, the show did so well and, you know, we had such a great time was because of that chemistry. And you and Ed and Sofia really had incredible chemistry. We shared, you know, Ed O'Neill as, you know, a stepfather for you and a father for me on the show. And I mean, I couldn't adore that man more. Like, he reminds me so much of my dad in real life.
Yep, same.
I really look up to him still to this day. Like, whenever I get a moment with him to talk to him on the phone, sometimes he butt dials me by accident.
I love it.
And always turns into like a half-hour conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just checked in with him with the fires recently.
Same,
and I was like, where are you at? Are you okay? Are you safe? Because I knew his houses were sort of in that line of danger. And he's like, oh, I'm in Hawaii. I'm
he's like, oh, whatever happens. All right. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But what was it like for you to have those two people as your parents on the show? And also Brian, what's his? Oh God, why am I forgetting his last name? Brian, your dad in the show.
Benjamin Bratt. Oh, but Javier, yeah.
Benjamin Bratt is, you know, your birth dad,
awesome.
yeah. But what was it like for you with those people as your parents?
You know, it was such it was like, you know, I don't know. It's like they're just such legends in their field, and it's kind of funny because I had no idea who Ed was when we first got on the show. I had no idea who he was. Like, my dad was like, oh, you're working with Ed O'Neill. I'm like, who's that? And they're like, oh, you know, from Married with Children. I'm like, okay, I never heard of that show. And then they're like, loving me. And they're singing to me. I'm like, I have no idea who this is.
What are you talking about?
But then I see Sofia. I'm like, oh, the good lady from Medea. From Medea Goes to Jail. I love her. Oh, I know. Wow, I'm working with the movie star. Knowing all the things she's accomplished.
Right.
And so, I mean, it was kind of like we all clicked, and so it was really fun to be able to have that kind of relationship. I was really lucky being able to, you know, have them as like mentors, especially Ed. I mean, everybody says him, but Ed, he truly took me under his wing, like no other. There was one time I remember vividly. It was early on, probably first season, where I was having trouble with this one line. Like I couldn't hear what I was saying. Like I didn't know I was saying it wrong. And though, you know, they keep coming in like, hey, Rico, try like this. You know, the directors or the writer or the, you know, Steve and Chris were coming in and like kind of helping me out. Well, I don't know who it was, but, you know, it was going on for a little bit. So it was a little frustrating. Like, oh, okay, come on, you know, get it. And I'm like overthinking everything. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm the reason why we're not doing good. And, you know, I'm like on the verge of like crying because I'm like, I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. And so it came to the point where then Ed just like, you know, whenever Ed talks on set, everybody listens. And so it was kind of the thing of like, Ed goes, all right, stop. Just cut the cameras. And he told, go sit down. He like told the director, go sit down. He brought me to the side and he was like, all right, Rico, look. Here's I think what you're having trouble with. Here, repeat after me. Try it like this. And then we would work together until he goes, no, try it like this. And I would do it. He goes, no, try it like this. Until I heard it and I repeated it in the way that they were wanting. Right. And he was like, that's it. Perfect. All right, let's go do it. All right, guys. And then he would turn it on them like, do you have your things together? Like, are you ready to go? Like, because he's ready and you're not ready. Yeah. Like, he would turn it on them. And then I would go, I'd do it in 2 takes. And moving on, and he would look at me, give me a wink. I'm like, I got you. He was like, I got you. Don't worry. Yeah. And that from that point on, I was like, I knew I could trust him. And it was points where throughout, you know, the first like 4 or 5 seasons, he would do that with me. And just, it was like I said, it was never a way of like showing me up until about like season 5, he was like, I don't need to work with you anymore. You got it. You're good now. You're good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
He's like, I need to focus on Sofia.
yeah, because Sofia, she's mispronouncing Manny again. So but it was like he couldn't have been the nicest, the coolest, the great. I mean, I love Ed. I owe a lot to him for just my career in general.
Yeah, I feel very, very fortunate that I got to work with him, and there's only a few people I share that title if he's my dad with, and it's you and Christina Applegate and David Fasciano. Is that his name? The other guy from Married Patrol?
Yep.
It's like the 4 of us are a pack.
Yep.
Well, and Julie Bowen, I guess.
I mean, Julie was there too. Julie was there too.
I always forget about Julie.
I never forget you, Julie. Love you.
But I know, I lost my mom in November, and I know that you and your family are so close, and when your father passed away about 8 years ago, how hard that was. And I think it happened over a hiatus that your father passed away.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, at that crossroads of me becoming an adult. I hadn't even turned 18 yet.
Yeah, you were young.
So I was very, very young. And so it was kind of crazy because on the final episode of that season was Manny graduating. And there was this really amazing scene between me and Ed where like he was like, it was the episode where Javier takes Manny to a strip club and he leaves his sash and everything that he earned from high school and like the stripper was wearing it, and like it's like they have then Jay and Manny have to go there and like let her perform and throw it was hilarious.
Right.
But at the end of it, he pours me a little thing of scotch and he's like, our relationship, that's what I think of you as being my kid. And I'm like, you're my kid. And I was like, you're my dad. And it's a really amazing scene. And then that was, the last episode. And then we wrapped. And then, and like 2 weeks later, my dad passed away. So it was really tough. Luckily it was on like a hiatus break. But it really, like, when I say crossroads, it was at that time where it was like season 8. So, negotiations were restarting again because we didn't have a future until we all of us were all up for our contracts. Right. So it was really interesting because first off, I'm grieving and I'm back home with my family, not thinking about, turning down projects that I'm not in the right mind space for. Right. I don't want to because I need to be here with my family. Yeah. And then it came time to start negotiating because again, we just didn't know. We probably knew we would come back, but we didn't know for how long, for what. And so negotiations started, and it was the first one without my dad, who always led the charge for us. And he would always tell me, I got your back and all that. So and my mom, who's the rock of our family,
Diane
she's the best. She's the best. I can say that for sure.
Yeah.
And so we're all doing that together. And there was a point where I actually thought, I don't know if I want to come back because I don't know. It was so, the patriarch of our family is gone. And he was the biggest motivator. He was the biggest critic. He was all of our ideas. So there was a point where I was like, you know what, maybe I don't want to come back and I want to hold off because I don't know if I can.
Right.
And then until we kept talking about it and negotiating, and then there was a point where I was like, no, I would be doing him a disservice of everything we worked for at that point to just stop. And then it came to the point where like, no, you know what? I want to come back. And it really, really made it easier knowing I was coming back to my other family. Yeah. And that was like, okay, you know what? It'll be okay. Because I was getting so many messages and calls from everybody, you guys. Steve gave me a great call and just, kind of talking with me, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to come back. And then luckily it was for 2 more seasons. Yeah. We get to 10, and then we negotiated for 11 a little later on, and then that was kind of how it shook out. So then usually every time we started a new season, it was always around my birthday because at the table reads they always give the cast or whoever's a birthday, they give them a big cake and sing them happy birthday. And I'm never the type to like show my emotions of like, oh, I'm gonna break down in tears in front of everybody, and I wasn't the one to like, oh, to hold it back, but it's just like I stood up there and I looked at everybody and I couldn't help but cry and get emotional because my dad passed in March, and then in July we're starting right up again, and it was like, man, being here, it helps me, it's helping me just because I know how much love you guys have given me over the years, and just So then I was like, I appreciate y'all, and thank you for being my family, and let's have a great year.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how, knowing that I had you guys to kind of be there with, to uplift and just have a good time.
Yeah.
It really made the decision a lot easier to for sure come back.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely was a support system for sure. And we all supported each other through so many big moments.
Yeah.
Kids, divorces, losses of parents.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back on those 11 years and so much happens in life in 11 years.
So much.
And, to have basically a second family to go through that with was really such a gift. Are you spending a lot of time in Texas still, or are you mostly here?
I've been able to evenly split my time, but I definitely am in LA more often than I'm in Texas, just because a lot of the things that I want to pursue further in my career, is here, and it's like creatively I'm able to. I don't know, Texas is home and it's the real place. Here it's Hollywood and the land of dreams.
Yeah.
And, I mentally and creatively, I'm able to kind of like lock in here and like really be able to like pursue things that I want to do.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I mean, I also love that you had this place to escape to during Modern Family that was sort of a grounding place where I imagine you still had chores. Like, you'd probably work at your dad's tire shop.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, what was it like to go from, like you said, we had 3 weeks on, usually we were shooting, and then we'd have a week off, and sometimes you'd go home to Texas and those hiatuses, or definitely over the holidays. But what was it like to be on set? And then, it's kind of like the same question about schooling, like be in this like one world and then all of a sudden transition to a much slower pace. And
oh, definitely. So for one, my dad, my siblings, all my other family lives in Texas.
Right.
So all my nieces and nephews, I have 11 of them.
Wow.
They all live there. So it's always a good chance to go see them as often as I could, because I'm a big family man. And so it was interesting because like back home, we live on 15 acres of land. It's wide open spaces. We have, full wheelers so we can drive around. My family, we own tire shops. We own 3 tire stores out there. So, I was 15 years old wanting to go work. And so I would tell my dad, I'm not Manny today. I'm Rico. I'm going to work. And then, my dad was so proud of us that he couldn't help himself, but he was like, oh, hey, look, Manny's working on your car, So it was just being funny.
Yeah.
And so it was always fun to be able to go back and get dirty and work on the tires and be a tire man. And then, when it's time to go back to work, I'm like, all right, time to go back and time to come home. But it was always so much fun to be able to have that escape, because, living in LA, when we first started out in like an apartment, so there's a neighbor above you, below you, to the side, in front of you, back, behind you. So there's always people around you, and then you go to Texas and you can walk outside and hear no cars, you hear animals, you hear birds, and it's awesome. It's such a cool thing. So be able to kind of have that little reset and then come back and like, okay, home, that's home, this is work.
Knowing that I was going to sit down with you today, I was like watching some of your earlier like TV appearances. There's this great appearance on Ellen where I think you say something about like I make like $20 a week. I get an allowance of $20 a week, and she was kind of like, well, maybe you should look into that.
Yeah.
But I was like, as a kid, you probably aren't being given ththese full paychecks, and obviously those are going to your parents, and like they're investing them, and like giving you that $20 a week is like an allowance.
Yeah.
Like I kind of forgot that. Like, oh yeah, this is. You weren't dealing with money in the same way that the adults were. Like,
no, and because a lot of people, that's why, like, obviously, because back then of the child actors of back then, rules and things, regulations were in place for, kids actors for today. And so it was so interesting because, my parents were very, when it was the right appropriate time to be open and honest about the money and here's what you're making.
When was that, by the way?
Huh?
When was that? When did that happen?
I'd say maybe I was like maybe 12.
Oh, wow.
Just because, again, we come from, we're Latinos. So like we take our work, and that's something that we don't take lightly, and that, it could be, we always knew it could be taken away from you at any moment, at any time. Because being in the industry long enough, you see it happen and you just don't want to be the next one to do it.
Right.
And so, they were like, look, this is what you're making. So this is what they expect out of you. So always, that's why I said earlier, you come into work prepared, knowing your lines. You come early, you come ready to go. If I would go when I was like 11 to 12 years old, I knew everybody's lines. I knew Ed and Sofia's lines.
I remember sometimes Ed would go up on his lines and you'd like help him out, or he'd look to you, and be like,
Yes,
what is it
yeah,
again?
he would look at me like
Yeah.
for help. So like, literally, he was helping me, I was helping him. It was so funny because like I always would be with Sofia, and I mean, it's very well known how Sofia, sometimes when she figures, she goes off the rails.
Oh, off the rails.
And I saw
And
it.
by the way, sometimes we just keep it in because it's
Oh
like
yeah,
funnier
because
than
at
what's
that
written.
point, why not?
It's funnier than what's written. But
And
yeah.
so, like, I got to see that every single week,
Yeah.
because I mean, it was us three. It was always us three. And so she would go off the rails, and then she would go, Rico, what's my line? I go, you go, Manny, get your coffee, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she would go, oh, thank you. Hi, Manny, get your coffee, let's go. And then we
That's so
finish the
funny.
take. But then she would go like, Rico, what's my call time for tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, well, on the prelim.
Also, what would happen on table reads? Table read days.
Yes.
You would get
I
there
got
early.
I'm gonna say I got suckered into
got
it.
suckered
I got
into this.
suckered into it. I love Sofia, but I got played. I got played by Sofia. So one time, being the nice person that I am,
Yeah.
Sofia was late.
To the
kind of
table read,
normal.
yeah.
Happens. Sofia was late to the table read, and
You
I
would sit next to her at the
I
table
would always
read.
sit next to her. I would sit next to you. I would
Yeah.
be sandwiched in between you two.
Uh-huh.
So Sofia was late, and I was like, I know how she marks her lines on her script because I see her do it
Yeah.
when she's rushing to do it before she starts. So I was like, you know what? Let me be nice and let me mark her script for her.
Very kind.
Okay. So she gets there and she's like, oh, thank you, and thank you, Rico, and pinch my cheeks and whatever. And then the next week she's on time.
Yeah.
So I sit down, I'm marking my sides, and then we start the read. And it comes to Sofia that she goes, Rico, you didn't mark my script. I go, huh? I didn't know I was supposed to. I did it one time because I was nice. And so she hands me her script, and now everybody's looking at me because it's literally her next line.
Yeah.
So this wasn't like, season 10. No,
Yeah.
this was like season 1.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
This-
nice.
this 10-year-old
I was
was in
10-year-old.
charge
I was
of-
literally Manny in that point, helping out Sofia. But, I love Sofia, so I had no problem doing it
That
for
is
her.
really funny to me.
It's really-
You knew her lines. You marked her script for the table reads.
Yep.
You knew her call time for the. You were her personal assistant. Really,
Now that
is
I
what it
look
was.
back,
You
I
really
have great
were.
memories. But now that you bring that up, maybe there was something on the show now.
Yeah. I feel like you should have been definitely given a bonus for that.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Yeah, she's the best. She's hilarious. I mean, hilarious.
truly. When was the last time you spoke to her?
Very recently for the fires, I messaged her because, with it was in that area. So I was like, I messaged Ed and I messaged Sofia
Yeah.
just to make sure everybody was all good.
Yeah.
And Sofia was like, yes, thank you. And then Ed was like, I don't know, I'm in Hawaii.
I have no idea.
I hope we'll be fine.
I mean, the last time I saw you was when we had that reunion at Sofia's of the entire cast minus Ty.
Minus Ty. Moment without Ty. We took that literal.
We took, yeah.
We took that literal.
Yeah, we would do this joke on set when we were doing photos with the entire cast. We would just as a cast do this joke where we'd say, "And one without Ty," and so Ty would step out of a photo.
And they would take a picture of all
We
of
take a
them.
picture of all of us without Ty.
A running joke, but we
It's
took
just a
that
running
one
joke. And then so when we had that first full reunion, Ty was not there because he had a medical procedure, and the internet thought he was dead when we took the full photo.
That was hilarious. That was such a
So
good time
funny.
because it was unfortunate, obviously with COVID and all that, but with us on the show, we had our grand finale, but then we had this great press tour to kind of say goodbye to the show, and then
That was all
everything shut down,
canceled.
and then we hadn't seen each other for 2 years. It just went like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
luckily, we were able to do that. It was a lot of fun.
It was so crazy. I drove Aubrey home from that
Wow.
party. Her mom dropped her off, and I drove her home, and she was taking her driver's test the next day.
Wow.
I was like, this is wild to me. I felt like a true parent, like driving my daughter home from a party.
Yeah.
I knew this girl when she was 3.5 years old. Wild. But I was gonna say, as we were looking for places to eat today, I didn't know this about you, and Eric told me. One of your favorite restaurants in LA is Benihana.
Yes.
And you all loved it so much. Tell me about this setup that you got for your home.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Benihana is like a hibachi teppanyaki place. So they cook all the food in front of you, and they do flips and tricks with the eggs and flip the rice bowls. My family, we love it. That's our favorite restaurant.
By the way, Rico, I live in Encino now, and it's right it's like a 7-minute walk.
I want to come
from
visit
me.
you more often.
You
I
really
think.
should.
Yeah.
But we've taken Beckett and Sully so many times. They love it. It's delicious.
It's family friendly for all ages. Yeah. So I discovered Benihana because of Modern Family. So because we loved it so much at our house here in LA, my dad had built like this really nice gazebo, and we're not drinkers, we're not any of that. So we, instead of having like an outdoor bar or whatever, he put a Benihana grill in there, and we call it Rico Hana. So we had this like logo made for like the top, for like the cover for the grill, it's Rico Hana. And so like,
wait, where did you get it from? What did they actually supply it for you, or did you find something similar?
We went to a place that where like they go to buy like a restaurant supply store.
Got it.
Because one of the chefs who worked there, his name is Oscar. He's awesome. He went on his own business venture, and he does private cookings for Benihana.
Oh, wow.
So now we basically, when we want Benihana at the house, or if we're going to have a party, or,
It's a great party.
It's a great thing. And we have him come. He brings all the food. He makes all the sauces. He does everything for us, cleans our grill, and he gets it going for us. He was the one who helped us get, so like we have the plates. We have like the Benihana inspired plates, aprons, the knives, the rice bowls. We have it all. So
That's
like
incredible.
anytime we have like I said, anytime we just want Benihana there, we just have him come, and we does the whole show for us, the onion volcano, the heart rice, all that.
Yeah.
It's a list of little things,
I love that you have that at home. That's so great.
Oh, yeah.
I remember just like, all you kids were like picky eaters, when you were young. 'Cause that's what children do. Like, I'm experiencing this with my kid now. But I feel like you've become quite a foodie now.
Yeah, I think as you get older, your taste buds change and evolve. It also had a lot to do with like when we would travel to places, like Australia or like Paris. There's all different foods there,
right.
And they don't have a McDonald's in every corner. It's a little safe haven. So I would want to try like alligator, and I was like, I would never thought I would try it, but here I am enjoying it randomly. And so like I'm just very open to trying new things. I love sushi. I love all types of food. I'll try it once. Now,
I remember when we were in Paris, like the craft service table and like where we have lunch, like it was a very elaborate spread, but it was not what we're used to here, like escargot, which is snails.
I was hungry in Paris. I didn't eat much there, I don't think. We found one place that we liked, and we went to like 3 times. And I was like, that's what we're gonna do.
Well, maybe when you're a little older, you'll go back again. You'll try again. I don't know. Yeah, it's great. I'm glad that we found a good meal that we both like today.
I love
Smash burger.
Can't go wrong with a good burger, and it was very, very
so
good.
Delicious.
Very good.
My chilies were hot. Thank you so much for doing this.
No, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to see you.
It's
been a really long time.
Been too long, and I'm glad we were able to do this because it's fun to reminisce and talk about. That's our experiences together. That we lived this whole amazing 11 years on this show. It was really fun.
And I've known you 16.
Yes.
That's absolutely bonkers.
It's crazy.
Yeah. More than half your life, Rico.
I know.
Oh, man. It's so good that you could do this. I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for the food. So it's on you, right?
Dinner is going to be on me.
Okay, perfect. Oh, I should have ordered some ice cream then. Maybe next time. We'll do it part 2.
Always. This episode of Dinner's on Me was recorded at Heavy Handed in Studio City, California.